Hi, Meric here. I'm going to be taking apart an electronic card shuffler today. As far as external goes, as far as design-wise, obviously this is slanted so that your hand can rest up against it, and it's, comfort. There's no sharp edges, so you can't cut yourself on it anywhere. The pieces that flick the cards are all down in here really well, so it barely comes up above the plastic surface where you would put the cards. In the middle, card holder thing. Again, no sharp edges, nothing. I mean, it's pretty good as far as safety and design. It's all kind of screwed together. So again, this is just the shell of the outside, the big piece. So once you actually get into the inside, you have the card shuffling motors. And then, on the bottom here, you've got, this is like the battery pack. On the inside here, you have the shuffle button. There's a button on the front right here. You have this button. This is the little assembly for the sensor for this button. So basically, the power from the batteries is taken from these wires. This is the negative, this is the positive. And it's pulled up, in three different places. One, it goes here to the shuffle button switch, so that when you push the button, the little sensor that's on the inside of this button registers that there's pressure, and it tells the motors up here to run to shuffle the cards. Of course, then you also have power being drawn from the batteries to each one of the motors themselves, so that these will spin when the button on the front is depressed. The motor here spins this little teeny tiny piece here, which in turn spins this big white piece, and then it spins a bunch of these little tiny cogs all over the place. Back over here, and it spins this big black card shuffler. It picks up the cards. This picks up the cards on the outside of this case, and it will basically shuffle this one. It'll do one from this side and then one at this side, because they're spinning at the same time when you run it. So they are spinning basically opposite each other, because you have, it'll spin, these motors will be spinning at the same time, and this one will pick up a card and put it into the shuffled section. And then this side will do the same thing, and it moves really, really, really fast when it runs. As far as materials that it's made out of metal and plastic. So the plastic pieces are probably extrusion, and just, you press it. I'm sure that it's probably pressed in when it's very hot and liquidy. And then of course it's in a little mold, and it dries and it hardens and it becomes plastic. And of course this big piece here that I have in my hands, this part is plastic, and of course there are elements of this portion that's plastic. Even this wood grain looking stuff, I don't think it's actually wood. It feels like plastic to me, so I'm pretty sure it's particle board, which is just compressed in order to make it. As far as this metal piece here, this was probably put extruded in some fashion. Possibly even the same way that the plastic is, just in a different method that's made for metal. As far as these internal components, I'd have to say they're probably relatively the same. I don't know specifically about the motors themselves, but these plastic pieces here that are connected and glued down to this metal piece, I would imagine are extruded. These little pieces here are probably, these little cogs and gears and stuff are probably punched out of a big sheet of plastic. I can see that being done. Or they're cut away by computers from big sheets of plastic, that sort of thing. With the external, internal, and materials bases covered, I'm going to reassemble it, and it's really not that hard. So